what's the word I'm looking for? The antithesis? Probably not.
Sounds good.
Probably not the right word, but he was supposed to be like the anti-Undertaker.
Okay,
like
so the opposite is his nemesis in that scenario.
But equally creepy, mysterious. Are you a Mortal Kombat fan?
Yeah.
You remember Raiden?
Okay, so that's what they were going for.
He kind of reminded me of Raiden.
Okay.
Just without the darkened face and the hat.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But that never came to fruition, and they scrapped that way too early. And I think that was good because Mordecai was a joke. He then went on to be Kevin Thorne in TNA, and he just dominated. A big guy, very physical, very strong, and I really wish they didn't mess him up in WWE because he could have been really good. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's all scripted, so it's not like he really needed to be a great fighter. He just needed to have the right, we talk about Christian Hackenberg and how changing things around too much messed him up potentially. It's exactly what they did with Kevin Thorne.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, that's not an original story for the WWE.
I've only got two more. One I'm going to say real quick. It's a tag team, Deuce and Domino. They were really cool. They came in with a sweet car from the 50s all the time. They had an attractive lady named Cherry that they brought with them. When they said where they were from the other side of the tracks.
So that's a good ploy. So
they weren't very good at wrestling, though.
Oh, well, that's a shame because that was actually written up pretty well.
Yeah, and then the Boogeyman. I loved the Boogeyman. Okay. The clock, the worms, all of it. Mm-hmm. Eating the worms, spitting them in people's faces. They need to come back just for the entertainment value.
And that's what this is. I mean, this is an entertainment avenue. That's what they need to be doing. I think they need to listen more just to the reaction of the fans, quite frankly, and then not abandon things. I feel like they change gears so often and so fast that some of the stuff that could work, they never really give it a fair shake. And then some stuff that's not working, they just are insistent upon continuing to do.
Right, like the League of Nations.
Right, yeah, it's confusing. I just don't understand the creative model behind this driving force and what they're thinking at times.
I don't understand either. But, alas, we're not the ones writing.
No, we're not. So it's not my fault, and I can't be blamed for it.
Right. Yeah. We could.
Yeah, at some point. Who knows? Yeah. You want to pay me to do it.
Yeah, if you want to pay me to be as bad as they are, I'll do it.
I can quit.
Yeah. So. Yeah. All right, so now let's get to our number ones. My number one, let me set the scene here. It's not a very easy answer. So the Shield will have to reunite for this scenario to work out. So the Shield reunites. They're the face group. They're all happy-go-lucky, fun, playing tricks on people, and just having a good time, and the fans are enjoying it. Mm-hmm. And then they pick on the wrong guy. They poke fun at heel GM Kurt Angle, who is currently the general manager of Raw. Mm-hmm. And he just keeps getting fed up with it and causes him just too much grief. Eventually, he gets pushed to a breaking point, and he challenges the three members of the Shield to a fight, which they accept. All right, so it comes time for the match, and before the bell rings, he takes the mic and says something along the lines of, "Did you three think it was going to be you three versus me? Oh, no. That's not how it works. I've got a team. It's true. And so after he says that, blaring through the loudspeakers all throughout the arena is, "Ain't no stopping me now!" And out come Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas.
Okay.
Long story short, Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas are my number one.
Okay. All right. I mean, can be played well. I could see it happening.
That would be the perfect way to bring them back in.
It would make for entertaining television. I can tell you that right there.
Yeah.
Because I think people would expect it, but you could keep it a secret. That's the other thing. Like, I think people would be like, "There's no way that Kurt Angle is going going up 3-1. And then now that's good writing because that allows for the idea that now it's conversation between people. You think he's going to bring somebody? Who's he going to bring? And then you can spring a surprise like that.
Yeah, there are so many things that aren't written very well that, like, if I were on the writing staff, I would think, like, this is a no-brainer. Zack Ryder, one of our most popular wrestlers, is currently in a team with Mojo Rawley. How do we make Zack Ryder more of a feature without actually giving him more wrestling time so that fans would be happy that they get to see more of him? Oh, I know, we brought back his old partner Kurt Hawkins. Boom, right there. Who's his alliance with? Is it with his old partner Kurt,
right,
or is it with his current partner Mojo?
And
who does he pick as his teammate?
And
you can spread that. You can spread that out over a month, and then when they finally Kurt Hawkins and Mojo Rawley have their match, just do something like he decides he wants to be with neither of them.
Yeah.
And goes off as a singles competitor.
Yeah, it's not.
You don't have to let him wrestle for the fans to get enough of him.
Right. Yeah. Well, no. I mean, they perfected that with the backstage interviews and just all the stuff that was happening outside of the actual wrestling. They've done this before. It's just the fact that you need to get back to what works and stop trying to think outside of the box because you're out thinking yourself.
It is. They're just absolutely outthinking themselves, like you said. And Vince McMahon, from what I understand, is a very compassionate guy, but he's also very much like Jerry Jones.
Oh yeah,
he's got his hands in way too much.
Yeah, he's a business first guy, and he feels that he's the one that has to be controlling everything. I mean, you saw it if you saw that 30 for 30 about the XFL.
Oh, that was great.
It was a great thing, but you start to see into Vince McMahon's world about how he thinks business should be run. And business should be run with everything goes through him.
Right. So that being said, who's your number one?
My number one, and again, this has to be a little bit earlier, but I would have liked to see it, is actually Ray Rice.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I misspoke. I'm thinking different Ravens. Give me a second. Not Ray Rice.
Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis. Thank
you.
Ray Lewis. Because he was, first of all, he's terrifying. He's
big.
Well, yeah, he's definitely an athlete enough to be able to pull it off. He's got the build for a WWE star. He was a character in his own right.
Plus, he's a murderer.
Well, and he's an alleged murderer. I mean, he was accused of such a thing. He was not convicted.
Neither was OJ.
Okay, so OJ's not a murderer, technically.
Neither was Casey Anthony.
Well, neither was Aaron Hernandez now. So, we're just making this up as we go.
I guess it is what it is.
Marshawn Lynch hit a lady with his car. Nobody talks about that anymore.
I mean, he probably paid her off in Skittles.
I don't think she walked away from it.
Oh.
I think it was a snowstorm. He was drunk. He got community service. This was Buffalo, man. Nobody cared. They're like, eh.
Having to stay in Buffalo is punishment enough.
Yeah, I mean, Randy Moss hit somebody with a car, did he not?
No, not Randy Moss. Dante Stallworth. I don't know about Randy Moss.
I think Randy Moss hit somebody with his truck. Doesn't matter. But, yeah, I think Ray Lewis would have been a perfect fit into Attitude Era-esque WWE.
Absolutely. He was so much fun to watch in football, though. I don't know if I'd want to take him out of that.
No, that's true. I'm just saying, if there was another avenue that he had to go, if something had happened to him like Dwayne Johnson, I could have totally seen him being right in that line of work.
Right. Speaking of Dwayne Johnson, I think Dan, before he got kidnapped, which we've really got to go find him.
Yeah, we should probably do something about that.
Yeah. He gave us some of his top 5. Something about The Rock being in there, Crime Time being in there. His number 1 was current sitting.
He does something right now.
Current
clown, I believe.
Donald Trump.
Oh, that's right.
That's
President,
right.
Not clown.
President, correct. Yes. So his number 1 would have been Donald J. Trump.
And now I'm on an NSA list.
Yep. He's the the only president to ever be a WWE Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I mean, he's a
quite
lot
the
of firsts for things.
That's quite the accomplishment. All right. Can you think of any others? Oh, I do have one more. Bobby Lashley.
Okay.
I think Bobby Lashley coming back probably would be pretty cool. He was a big guy, strong, former military. He is currently the champ in TNA. So I don't know how much that means these days when all of TNA's quote-unquote superstars are now in WWE. Bobby Roode, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe.
Mm-hmm.
There's one more that Austin Aries. So like everyone that they've ever had that really meant something, Christian, has been in WWE after TNA, except for Jeff Jarrett.
Right.
He created TNA, and now he's created some other wrestling company after they kicked him out of TNA, which is a company he started.
Well,
he got Steve Jobs.
This is a funny business in that regard, that's for sure.
There was also a guy in TNA that, for entertainment value, I would definitely want to have in WWE. His name was Shark Boy. He dressed like a shark, but he would come out to Stone Cold's music, and like he would take like grape juice or something, smash them together and chug them like Stone Cold did with beers. So like, he totally ripped off Stone Cold, and he walked with attitude.
I'm gonna have to look this up because this is too funny to believe.
It was great. And then there was a wrestler named Petey Williams in TNA who has the greatest finisher of all time called the Canadian Destroyer. It is incredible. Look it up if you haven't seen it. Look it up. I still don't know how it works, and I've watched that video like 12 million times.
The Canadian Destroyer.
Yeah, I'll show you. Don't worry. It is crazy. But this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was an interesting list. I definitely wish I knew a little bit more about these other guys that were in the business, but I had fun thinking about it. It's a strange question to be asked.
Yeah, I mean, I foresee more WWE things coming. Not a whole lot.
No, I mean, it's still. I mean, it's on ESPN, so it's sports. So we're talking about it.
Notice how none of us said Jonathan Coachman.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
All right, so we're almost done. But like always, we have our This Week in Sports History. I think this one's a good one. On May 25th, 1951, Willie Mays played in his first Major League Baseball game. He went 0 for 5 in an 8-5 victory over the Philadelphia Phillies. Of course, Willie Mays at the time was playing with the New York Giants.
Mm-hmm. Fun. I'm going to add one to that. To this day, I believe it was. This day is the anniversary of Mike Piazza's first game as well. Today, the 23rd of May. Now Hall of Famer, went in last year.
Interesting. He used to play for Oakland. He used to be in Oakland A.
Yeah, I believe he did.
Yeah.
I'll always remember it. His defining moment to me will always be the moment when Clemens threw the broken bat at him. And he looked like he was going to kill Clemens for a second.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, did you really do that? Like, you might be big, but I'm big too, so we can do this if you want.
He's supposedly like the greatest hitting catcher of all time or something?
I think he is the greatest hitting catcher of all time as far as statistics-wise. I mean, home runs and everything. He really took being an offensive catcher to another level. And
apparently, even though we're in 2017, people are still questioning his sexuality.
Yeah, I don't...
like it matters.
Yeah, no, like, yeah. You're curious about it now. You don't even know what gender he prefers.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a discussion for a whole nother podcast. Not ours.
Not ours.
Yeah.
No, we're not getting
someone else's. But we had a lot of fun tonight. A couple things I do just want to remind you. Check us out on Facebook, Dan D'Antoni Sports. Check us out on Twitter at Dan D'Antoni. We can be heard now on iTunes, Dan D'Antoni Sports, 2 words. Just click subscribe. You'll get all of our latest episodes downloaded directly to your phone. Check out our blog at dandantonisports.blogspot.com. Doing this new thing every Friday called Football Friday, starting this Friday. So by the time you hear this, it'll be yesterday. You can read my thoughts about football every Friday on the blog. For Dan D'Antoni Sports, have a good night.